Hello, welcome to GDC Square, like I said. My name is Jamail Chachere. I'm a composer for video games. I'm also an active gigging musician in San Antonio, Texas and Austin, Texas. And I'm also a music educator. I specialize in making music that makes your body want to move. And that can range from dancing to one to start a riot. And everything in between. Yeah. So, I'm going to talk about how important music is in this world. Music is very important to all cultures. Like, we use them for many things. Like, we get music to make us happier. We listen to music to make us happier. We also listen to music to empathize with our sadness. And sometimes we use it to relax. People use it for propaganda. People use it for events, weddings. Like, there's many reasons to have music around. And one thing that is prevalent for all those that I just mentioned is emotions. We're going to be embracing the emotional spectrum today with music. I'm not going to read all these because we don't have enough time for that. But the main things that we always know is like happiness, sadness, disgust, anger. Like those are some things that are really easy to identify. But then there are even more complex things, like something I see like valued, courageous, anxious, inadequate. There's a spectrum of emotions that get very deep, and sometimes it's really hard to express that in words. And that's where music comes into play. We can use music to fill in the gaps of what our sentences cannot say. Because I know I've had at least 3 situations where I was like, I don't know the words, just go listen to the song real quick. And then okay, I get it. You can feel the emotions. Transforming emotions into music. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So let's take this video, for example. It means nothing to me right now. There's no context. Like, you see people in a car, you see some smiles, you see some trees. If I was writing to the picture, I can make some tree music, I can make some smiling car music, but what does that mean? There's no context. But what if I said this was like the beginning to a horror film, and there's something right around the corner, and it's about to be like a car crash or something like that. We can use music to give context to this picture. But what if I told you it was just friends going on a summer road trip, and they just want to have fun. They're driving to the next state, and it's completely different, right? That, the music alone completely changed the entire context of that video. So, a few weeks ago, I participated in multiple game jams. One was the Global Game Jam. I did 3 teams for that, wrote a total of 5 songs. And a week before that, I did the Austin Game Makers Game Jam. Shout out to Austin ATX Game Makers. And that was a great jam. Thank you. And one of the programmers for he worked on this game, and then he worked on another game. And so there's some people here who actually work on these games with me. For the Global Game Jam, we make this game called Get to Work. Yeah. And so I was driving to Austin, Texas, kind of late, it's far. And the team was already discussing without me, which is fine. I'm just going to put the bleeps and bloops behind things, that's fine. And so when I get there, the first thing I asked was, okay, what's this game about? The game is called Get to Work, It's 3 games in one. The story is that your car broke down and you're rushing to get to work. All right, that's valuable information. Like, okay, late to work. Okay, but that's not enough. I needed more information so I can make something substantial for this game. So then I asked, what are the emotions? How am I supposed to feel in between these levels? And because once I get the feeling of how I'm sitting in my gaming chair, you know, the RGB lights and everything, just sitting there playing, it's like, okay, what am I supposed to do? I didn't have a gaming chair with me, but you know, mentally, right? So we get to level 1. Level 1, you gotta run to the office because your car broke down. So you gotta run to the office, you're dodging cars, you're dodging people. The emotion I asked was, were lighthearted and chaotic. And then the style, arpeggios, I was kind of like, that's just my music theory stuff. And I said, okay, how can we make this work? Because lighthearted and chaotic are kind of, contradictory. So how can we make this work? With chaos, I was like, okay, we'll just have lots of things going on. And then the lightheartedness would be, I'll choose specific instruments, kind of like a soothing type of thing. And so we get level 1. So let's do level 1. So you get to work, right? And like we're kind of running down the street with our friends a little bit, trying to get to work. But since you're late, you gotta get to work, but there's no stairs at the building. Like, I don't know, someone blew them up or something. Like, a wrecking ball just came and knocked the entire building away, and you have no stairs. So the only obvious conclusion is you have to climb the skyscraper. But why would you think of anything else, right? So now we're climbing the skyscraper. So I was like, okay, what does that feel like? The emotions I got were perilous, danger, worried, late to work. I wrote like Fast and Furious. I don't know. I was thinking I could use that as like some kind of inspirational thing. And then they also asked me to write something that was deep in tone, worried. I put cop chase, and I wanted guitars. So what's a dangerous, perilous, worried type of genre that I like and can make it sound a little bit weird? I like progressive metal. So I was like, let's just write a progressive metal song. So you made it work, right? Everything's good, right? Wrong, because now you get to work and now you got to fight off all your middle managers because, I don't know, they think that they're cool and they're like managers that can tell you what to do. You forgot your TPS reports, so now it's chaotic and it's climactic. It's kind of like a boss battle. It's over the top crazy for no reason. Like, you're at an office, like what's gonna happen at an office, right? So I asked them, what should this one feel like? And I got serious, ridiculous, climactic, triumphant, boss battle. And I wanted to just make it make no sense, make it ridiculous. I like Japanese RPGs, and those are known for being very over the top for no reason, with giant orchestral scores and things like that. And then I wrote mixed meter time signatures. So like normally like music is 1, 2, 3, 4, and that just repeats. So okay, let's make it a little bit unpredictable and just make it weird. So now we're fighting off the middle managers. Ridiculous, right? I could have made it more ridiculous, but I was like, let me not go too far off the deep end. But that was level 3. Okay, so let me do this recap first. So to recap on all of that, what I just talked about is that music can completely change everything. And then once you get the context right for the scene, it makes more sense. And music can bring out the intangible natures of emotions that dialogue and just speaking can't. And so let your emotions be a driving force for your creativity. And you can use everything I talked about to talk with everyone who's going to be part of the more artistic creative side of your video game. So if you want to talk to, poor choice of words, the entire process is artistic. But if you want like to work with a composer, you can say, hey, I want this song to sound incredibly sad. I want this to feel like I'm the happiest person in the world and I could just fly to the moon and I could live on the moon and then I'm gonna be really happy on the moon and I'm just gonna stare at the stars, even though I have no oxygen, but it's gonna be great, you know. And you can also use this to talk to sound designers. It's like, okay, I want a lighthearted, crunchy sound. Like that's gonna be very different than something like in the cinematic universe, like Marvel and stuff like that. So I decided to prove that I can do this in real time, and which puts pressure on me, which is fine. I like doing this, but I decided to do a speed run challenge of music. And I'm gonna set a 10-minute timer, and then we're just gonna see what I can come up with. So I would like some audience participation in this. So we're going to 3 things. I want a color, I want an object, and I want an emotion. So can someone just scream out a color to me? Blue. Blue. 2 blues. Someone give me an object. Hot dog. Hot dog? Blue hot dog. Okay. And now someone give me an emotion. Happy, frightened, nostalgic. Happy, frightened, nostalgic. Okay. Frightened, blue, frightened hot dog. Who's feeling happy and nostalgic. I don't know how I can use happy and nostalgic. This is going to be great because you can either see me crash and burn or it's going to be a success. But blue, frightened, hot dog, happy and nostalgic. Okay, so now we're just going to do it. Let me get to this timer and go. Okay, so we got the blue hot dog. So let's do, what is some color blue sound like to me? That sounds like blue. And you said frightened, right? So I can do something. While also having something down here like, let's make it a key flat line. Cool. So we got the, that's gonna be the frightened part. This sounds like blue. All right, so we have blue, frightened, hot dog, but it's also nostalgic, right? So what does nostalgia feel like? I don't know, but I'm gonna just start making it. I can't talk and do this at the same time. So you're just gonna watch me in real time, just do it. Ready? Go. All right, so. Okay, let's get, we're gonna get a metronome. Dun, dun, dun. What does that sound like? Almost, but we can work with that. So let's go to right here. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. Then let's do. I hope this doesn't bore you without me talking. Let's go right here, then boom, boom, boom. We can work with that. So the other cool thing about this is like I can't think. I just have to go. You just have to let the flow, because when that 10 minutes is gonna I deleted something. That 10 minutes is gonna go by fast. Who doesn't like a good speed run? Good enough. See what that sounds like. Cool. See, I don't even know if I even like this yet. I don't know if I like this yet, but it doesn't even matter. We just go. And then let's do. So let's make a little bit chip tuning a little bit. Cool. Do. Cool. So a cool thing in the old Nintendo soundtracks, because they're so limited with space, they took the same notes and they just played them later and played them quieter, and you get a delay. So I'm gonna do that. Whoa. Do. We almost had it. Do. Okay, I can't do that as quick, so I'm just gonna do that later. It's not that important. But right now we have. I didn't like that at all. We gotta repeat that. I don't know if I like it this slow, so I might speed it up because I like fast music. You saw that Sonic GIF earlier. So let's do 100 BPM. This is fun, I'm not even gonna lie. I hope y'all having fun. Maybe you're not, but I'm gonna keep doing it anyway. Oh, where's my timer actually? Oh, we got 3 minutes. Oh, let's go. Cool. Does it sound like a frightened blue hot dog? I need some, I don't know.
I'm getting nostalgic.
I like that. We got the nostalgic part. Okay, more arpeggios. That was terrible. I really wanted to get that delay because I want to show you how it works. So I didn't want to let go of that idea. So I'm gonna do this. Whoa. 1, 2, 3. Here it is. There it is. I forgot to mention that this is actually not my laptop. I'm using someone else's laptop. So that makes this even harder. Thank you, Rodrigo, for letting me use it. Thanks. So this adds to the complexity of this track. But what do we have so far? How much time we got left? I got a minute. I got to finish something. Cool. Where we at? 30 seconds. Okay, we're gonna call it there. Time. Okay. So yes, I did that, but why? One is because I just like challenges like that. When I use speed runs, like I've done many speed runs on my own just to see how quickly I can work. Because when you're working for someone else, turnaround time is very important. So I don't want them waiting for like months on something that I could have done in like a week. Not everyone works. Sorry about that, everyone who's listening online. Sorry, but if I can do something quickly, I'm just gonna do it. But also make sure it's quality as well. I'm not gonna send that to the client, but that's the idea already. But the reason for that was I took an object, hot dog, a color, blue, and then some emotions, frightened, nostalgic, happy. Nothing about that was happy. I don't know about that. But I got the nostalgic part for me. And I used that to fuel the creativity to create this track. And then now I have a basis for many other tracks for this blue hot dog frightened game. And I can use some of that melody and transfer it to other tracks. So I would say thank you for watching me speedrun that. And so, do we have any questions? Well, first, yeah, thank you for listening to my talk about video game music and transforming emotions into music. Now, do you have any questions?
I saw that you kind of had a bit of a template project with a bunch of instruments or just basic setup. I just want to ask, like, what kind of stuff do you put in that template so that we can get the ground running?
So you asked about templates, and that's actually very important for this right now because once again, I'm not using my laptop at all. This is a completely foreign computer system. So, and also they want to fail too bad in front of a bunch of people. So I was upstairs and I was like, okay, what are the basics for my type of music that I need to make it just the core basics. So I kind of think of my music like in like a five man band type of thing. So you have your drummer, your bassist, your keyboardist, your guitarist, your lead instrument. So like singer or trumpet or NES basic waveforms, you know. And so that's how I make if I was to make another template like that, it would just be those things. That's what I would have as the basis. Just kind of like a 4-man, 5-man band type of thing. Hope that answers your question. That question back there.
Yeah, it's like the situation. How do I guess you generate that description? Just like
how do I generate?
I guess how do you find the correct word in on that?
Okay, that's good. How do you find the correct words to apply to a scene of a game to tell someone?
I guess not necessarily saying, I guess also like the area also as well.
The areas. That's actually a good question. So I would say when you see the gameplay that you're making, or maybe even think beyond the game and think in the real world. So like if you're out in the forest, like let's say the area is a forest. Like say you're out in the forest in Rome. You can have many different versions of that forest. Maybe to you the forest is very tranquil, very calming. So maybe you want to just express, oh, this forest tend to be calm, so we need that. Or maybe like says like a horror game or something like that, like something's lurking in the forest back there somewhere. So just maybe just like word dump a sentence, like this forest is very open and this is happening and I feel this way. And then by the time you get that word dump out, like just like clean it up. And then as you get smaller words, you can think about that. And then you can give it to the closer and they can pull those words out for you. So like you can say something like, these are the words that came up for this. What are you feeling as you're reading this? Maybe even put it to ChatGPT. Say, hey ChatGPT, what are the emotions that you get from reading this sentence? And if it aligns with you, that's what it is. So ChatGPT or ask someone else. That's how we do it. Question right there.
Hey, we've hung out before.
We have hung before.
Love your music, and just want to say that first off, I cared a lot of the Indian question. My question was, could you re-explain the delay effect that you did with the Nintendo reference you had mentioned? It looked like you duplicated it and then changed the velocity of the duplicates. Is that what I saw?
Yes.
And that was a really cool effect, and I've actually never seen that before. So I like that reference.
So we're getting technical because we got audio people in the room. So that's cool. So he asked about how I made this delay effect right here. So let's think about what delay is in the real world. Delay is you taking the same exact sound and it repeats and it gets quieter as time goes on. And so in the old school Nintendo games, to do that, they took one single note and they spaced it out. I'm using 16th notes and I space it out every 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, and then I put the next one right there. And then all I did was turn the volume down. So if it was all the same volume, it would sound like this. It sounds like you're just playing like a guitar, you're going da na 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 na. So if you just take all those notes and you lower the volume like this, So to put it in like very specific musical terms, you have short notes, move them over by 3/16 notes, maybe even longer if you wanted to, and just lower the volume and you create that delay effect. Cool. I like technical questions. I think you had a question earlier. Yes. Yeah.
I guess I want to ask, what's the process of I guess, translating a motion to something it doesn't quite match up with the client wants. If you have two different visions for what nostalgic or happy sounds like.
So what if you have two different definitions of what happy or nostalgic sounds like? Ask for a reference. Because, and also references are very important as well, because let's say you give me those words, happy and nostalgic, and I pull up a chiptune song, but in their brain, they wanted orchestra music. That's already wrong. Like, you're not giving them what they wanted. So, along with asking them what the emotions are, I also ask for just a reference of what kind of music do you already hear that you've heard before that fits your game? Because of all the developers I have met, they all have at least one song that they feel like, oh, this would work really well in my game. And so you can just take that. I would say get like 2 or 3 references. I like maybe 3 references, and use those multiple references as source material to embed it in your ear, and then just go elsewhere with that. Does that answer your question? Okay, cool. Yeah, question back there. How come to melodies? I just write a lot. I write a lot, and I listen to a lot of music, and I practice a lot of music, and I sing first. I sing it in my head, and then I sing it out loud, and I was like, okay, that sounds cool. And I just write it down, and then later on I tweak it, and he's like, oh, I didn't like any of that. So that's how I come up with the melody. I sing it first, and also just listen to a lot of different music. Pop music, listen to pop music. Pop music has really great melodies. Like, there's a reason why they're popular, because the melodies are so good. So if you can write pop-oriented melodies, but in your own style, like that already takes you to the next level. Yeah. What was? Okay. You're there in the.
Okay. Do you have any strategies for limiting the amount of revisions or when you have a client that's not particularly helpful with feedback?
Do I have a method for revisions? That's where contracts come into play. Because if you don't have a contract, and you have not an ideal client, they will take advantage of not having that contract. Or even if you have a contract but that's not in the contract, they can also take advantage of that. So then you can issues with that. So in that contract, you can say something like up to 3 revisions, 2 revisions, 3 revisions. After that, we might have to talk about more compensation to get something else. And if you keep doing revisions, you might have to talk with them. Maybe I'm not the right person for this project. You might not want to say that because that's money in your pocket, but if you keep going and you're just not being satisfied with what you're creating, this might be wrong fit for the project. But to stop them from asking for too many revisions, contracts are important, and that just holds you. That protects you from having to do way more than you should have done. Another question?
Yeah, you said write a lot.
Yeah.
And, how much is a lot?
How much do I
Give us
write?
an idea, because you're like, oh, write a lot, but then you write once every week. But
Okay, so I don't write. Well, I do write a lot, but I do write less. But I would say when I was younger, I was writing a new song every week. I've done times where I'm writing a new song every day. The thing with writing a lot is getting rid of perfectionism. perfectionism will absolutely kill your skills. You can work on one project for a really long time, but you're still working on that same idea over and over again. There's a game that someone mentioned to me a few days ago. What was it called? I forgot the name of it. But it's like a really large project that they said that they were going to finish like 5 years ago. But they keep adding, and they keep adding, and they keep adding. And by the time you get to the final product, you might have this really giant mess that doesn't work. And now your customers are messed up. Cyberpunk, that's another one. You know, they just released something that didn't work. But they wanted something bigger and bigger. And Cyberpunk is a huge game. My laptop will absolutely explode if I try to play it. So I think the key to writing a lot is just writing lots of small things. Just keep making small ideas over and over again, new ones over and over, and then maybe revisit it later, like, oh, I can change it now. But that's after you already tried something different. So, how much should I write? Sometimes a different thing a day, an hour a day. Start with 10 minutes a day. Like this, the speed run challenge, 10 minutes, just 10 minutes a day. Like that get you pretty far. Another question.
Going off of that, how do you get out of the gutter of just making small little clips and actually getting to finalizing your full song?
Go get out of the gutter, bunch of small clips, and finalize a full song. The small clips can be part of a full song. So let's say I'm going to write this section. Okay, now I'm just going to write a small section to accompany that section. And like now you're stacking building blocks versus taking it as like a large thing. Yeah, I would say do little tiny things of that one song and then just go on to something else. And then, because I've had projects in my hard drive that have sat there for 3 years. And then I came back to it with fresh ideas and I was like, I forgot to finish that song. And then it becomes my favorite song. And because I have to need to finish it. Sometimes, maybe you just release it. If it's an unfinished song, just release it. The amount of unfinished songs I released on SoundCloud, you can't find them anymore. I hate them. But I just threw stuff on SoundCloud just to get used to putting things out there. Not putting things out there kind of gets into perfectionism as well. So just put it out there because somebody is gonna like it. Like let me tell you something. You get me to preacher mode. So some of the songs that people have liked the most are the things I put the least amount of effort into. Effort does not mean good. Effort doesn't mean quality. Once again, Cyberpunk. That's a lot of effort. Broken game already, right? Sometimes the least amount of effort was actually, if we translate that, it was you in the absolute full state, and you just let it go. Some people, I've seen artists who release unreleased music, and people are like, this is it. Like Big Panthers. Big Panthers released an unfinished song on her YouTube like 3 years ago, and everyone loved it. And then she revisited that same song, I forgot what it was called. Angel? I don't know. I'll come back to you about that. But like years later, they like remastered it. And guess what people said? I like this, but I like the other version better. They like the raw, unreleased version better. Maybe because it feels more visceral, more close to home. This is one that was on the Barbie album. I think it was Angel. I think it was that one. No, it was. I'm gonna find that name for you. But my point is.
I personally use that.
Oh, you need to know? Okay. I will talk to you personally because I don't want to. It might take me a little time to find it. But I'll give you the name. But yes, that was a long, convoluted answer to your question. But just release things. Maybe come back to it later. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just let it go. Another question on the game.
Audio profile games are rather generally, is there anything you do specifically regarding that to make sure that you're making the other aspects of the context, dialogue?
when you say the audio profile is complex, can you rephrase the question?
Sure, I'm essentially saying, how do you make your music fit in with the other audio elements of the game?
How do we make music fit in with other audio elements of the game? We talked to a sound designer. Sometimes music and sound design are so separate that they kind of work on their own anyway. But I can't burn this in I'm sorry. Yeah. But if you have if your sound designer is making a comical cartoony game sound design, you're making a serious orchestral music, those aren't gonna work. So it's just as simple as a question with the audio person that this is the direction I'm going into. And it's also just checking in with the client or your friends or whoever you're making the game with. It's just constantly checking in. That's how the communication is very important. Say, hey, this is my new idea. How you like it? Because if you're in the lab for too long and you're not letting anyone in, that causes you other problems because you could have fixed something they didn't like early on, but now you're like a month in when you gotta fix it in 2 days. Does that answer your question? And so if it doesn't, ask me again and I'll come up with a better answer. Oh, okay. Let's take 2 more questions. Actually, what time is it actually?
We have around 10 minutes.
Around 10 minutes. Yeah, we can do 2 more questions. Yeah. Great chat.
So like something I noticed you did was like you like arpeggios or like natural ones like that. How do you like know that stuff? Is it just like I tried a lot of sort of things?
How do I know that arpeggios fit that, or just like the
Stuff like how do you know like arpeggios fit one emotions, like certain notes fit another?
Okay. Fantastic question. Now I was going to say to talk, but I forgot. So you reminded me. So music, especially in the Western culture of music, there are stereotypical tropes and sounds that depict sadness and happiness. And there's plenty of songs. I don't want to use that sound, but if I use this sound right here, that's called a major chord. You may not know some people might not know the theory of that sound, but we kind of all call that happy. And then this chord, we kind of, as a culture, we call that sad. That's kind of tense and weird. That's also kind of tense and weird. So when you're writing music, this goes into scales, so major scales, like that's a major scale. So we write chords. In those scales, we have that happy sound. But if we take like a minor scale, like this, bad performance, I'm playing with my hand. But like those are stereotypical tropes in music that are depict sad, happy, and those kinds of things. So you kind of just play with those ideas first, and then like arpeggios, you kind of I think like really short, plucky notes. I think like kind of like jumping a little bit. So like if I want like a really happy song, something I like really short arpeggios, like stuff like that. But it's really just taking a note, like listen to sad songs, and then like just like okay, why does this sound sad? And maybe even a good exercise is try to recreate that song, like note for note, like learn that song and then recreate a happy song note for note, and then you can notice what things are kind of like sad, happy, optimistic, things like that. And the last question.
Sure. Yeah, I was gonna ask you like talk about this theory a little bit.
Talk about music theory?
Well, no. So like, because you mentioned in your talk where you did your samples here that once you're using sort of a similar kind of progression upward notes, and that's what I was really talking about, like trying to show, want to demonstrate like a journey only, like if the thing we only go to mixed measures and polyrhythms are kind of fun because they have like down in the middle of that for sets. Is there any other, I guess, elements or criteria that you tend to gravitate toward?
Any elements or principal things of music theory that I tend to gravitate towards? Learning the standard chord progressions. Okay, so I'm gonna get real technical now. So there are specific chord progressions that are kind of in all music, kind of like a 2-5-1, and then that's a typical chord progression. Then we have I like 4-5-6. And I use that for like melancholy music a lot. It's kind of like anime music a little bit. If I did something like this. No, so learn like the common chord progression. You can just Google common chord progressions. Learn them and use them. Other things like writing bass lines, I tend to use like the 1 and the 5 of the chord, and that's it. If I'm losing some people with music theory, I'm sorry. But if you're here, great. And what are some other things? Tempo, how fast or how slow your song is, that's very important. Instrument choice. So I'm not going to use a really loud blaring trumpet for a funeral march or something like that. But I will use really loud trumpet for going to war or it's a happy fanfare or something like that. That's not music theory, but that's like instrument choice. You kind of caught me on this question. I don't know the answer. I have some answers, I don't have a lot of answers. But I hope that answers your question. Cool. All right. Thank y'all for being here at GDC Square. And I'm Jamail Chachere. You can find me at Instagram and social medias at Jamail Music. And then this is also my email if you want to be in contact that way as well. Thank you.